fortuitous about the goal they've conceded today. Tevez, it's Bellamy, it's 2 inside 5 minutes.
Bernardo Silva switched flanks onto the left. This is Danilo. Danilo's shot on! Danilo's goal! To open the scoring for Manchester City. What a strike from Danilo. Gabriel Jesus lines up a shot. It's a curling effort into the net. Jesus beats Pope, and that one will count.
Welcome to Matchday Live. Thank you for joining us today. The team are arriving at Turf Moor as City take on Burnley in a 3 o'clock kickoff today in the Premier League. This is the 100th league meeting between Burnley and City, with the first coming back in October 1897. Burnley have won just one of their last 22 against City, and that was a 1-0 win in March 2015. City are the only side yet to drop a single point from a winning position in the Premier League this season, winning all 22 games in which they've led. No side has ever gone through an entire Premier League campaign without dropping points when ahead before. City have won 24 of their last 26 Premier League games against sides starting the day in the relegation zone, and have won their last 9 meetings with Burnley in all competitions by an aggregate score of 32-1. And we are very much going to be hoping to add more goals to that total today. Thank you for joining us on Matchday Live. I'm Natalie Pike, and I am joined in the studio by 2 men that know all about scoring goals. It is Paul DICKOV and Shaun Goater. Good afternoon, gents. I am so happy you're both here, as you both have a tendency of calming me down and keeping me feeling positive. I'm a bit nervous today, Dickie. Do you want to immediately give me some calming words?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a huge game today. People are talking about the games we've got coming up, the Atletico game, obviously the 2 Liverpool games. But today's massive, as it stands at the minute. I think Liverpool have just went above us. But going into today's game, our record against Burnley is fantastic. The team that we've got, which I know you're going to read out in a second, looks really, really strong. And as always, I'm confident. And results against Burnley have been very good of late, and I don't expect anything less today.
See, always makes me feel better. Always. And we do have that team news for you. This is the first place to get your team news. We give you the second that we are allowed. And here you go. 3 changes from the team that beat Southampton in the FA Cup, which seems like a lifetime ago now. You can see Edison is back in goal. And then it is Cancelo, Laporte, Ake and Walker. And then it is Rodri, Gundogan, who's the captain today, De Bruyne, Foden, Grealish and Sterling. So that is your starting 11 today. Having a look at the subs bench, it is Stefan, Stones makes the bench, Jesus, Zinchenko, Silva, Fernandinho, Mahrez, Egan Riley and Mbete. So that is your subs bench for today's game against Burnley. So 3 changes to that starting 11. So I'm immediately going to get the reaction of our guests. So Sean, what do you make of the team today?
Well, yes, solid team, strong team. We're needing a strong team because this will be a difficult game. But I'll give you some words that you was asking for earlier. I think that the last time Burnley had beat City was 2015. So that tells me the players will be very, very confident, looking forward to today's game. But when I look at this team, and I think Gundogan is the one that stands out for me. And it stands out for me for the reason that Gundogan is the one that knows how to make runs between centre halves and fullbacks, and he's very clever at doing that. Because we know that Burnley's going to have a low block, and that's why I think that's going to be a huge part in our performance today. His runs going in between the centre back and fullbacks.
Yeah, so Gundogan is in. He started in the game against Southampton as well, but he hasn't started as many games this season as he has previously, Paul. What do you think it says about today's opponent or the way that you think we're going to play that he starts in this Premier League game?
Yeah, I think with the games coming up, I think we'll see a lot of rotation in the players. And look, they're all top players as well. But, you know, I've got to agree with Sean. I think the blind runs that he makes from midfield to get in behind Burnley's low block that they're going to have. Look, they're going to have 4 at the back, they're going to have 5 strong across the middle, basically defending their 18-yard box. So the movement, it's so important when you play against a team like that you get people running in behind. Even if they don't get the ball, it drags defenders out the way in. And the one thing he does is he keeps the ball moving and keeps the ball moving quickly. You know, we're going to have a lot of possession, and I think the quality he's got and the experience he's got is why he's in there today.
So if we have a look at the back 4 as well, that's been one of the main talking points. Obviously, Ruben Diaz is still injured. We know that John Stones came back from the England training camp early, Sean, but he does make the bench. So we've got centre-backs today of Laporte and Ake, who I'm very, very confident with both of them. But the only question generally that people ask when they play together, Sean, is about the fact that they're both left-footed. Can you give us an explanation for those of us that are not as technical as you of what that means to the game?
Well, initially, having discussion, and I think Paul will correct me off here, we were thinking, well, who will play left side of these 2 centre-backs? And initially I was thinking it was Laporte. And my mind was thinking, well, Laporte does offer that diagonal switch pass because he has a quality sort of long pass. And Paul just nudged me and went, I'd remind you that Cancelo will be bombing on, and Ake is a brilliant one-on-one defender. So Paul's leaning towards Ake, and I tend to agree. I think Ake will probably be the one that plays on the left-hand side. But again, the way the game is going to shape, I think it's going to be with them having a low block and us consistently sort of just keeping the ball in their half and also in their defensive third. So again, when they sort of try to break, I think Ake is going to be important to be right there blocking those one-on-one situations and then keeping their sustained pressure.
Yeah, and I think that for a majority of the game, when we've got the ball, we'll probably see it as a 3 at the back. You know, Cancelo won't just bomb on, he'll tuck inside into midfield. You know, the amount of times we see him in the middle of the park, 30 yards, 25 yards out as a midfielder. And Nathan Ake, he's played left back for us, he's played left back recently for Holland as well. And it's more of a natural fit for him to slot over into that area. But I think the amount of ball we're going to have, I don't think at any time in the game we'll see it as a back 4.
I've got a brilliant Laporte stat for you. So he starts today for the 100th time. Even without playing yet, he has set a new record for the most points after your first 100 Premier League games. Wow. That's an insane stat.
That is. That just shows you how consistent he is. And, you know, I keep like... The quality of the central defenders are so good. You know, the odd time we've got Diaz out and Diaz comes and we just go, wow, the standard. It's just like, it's going through the roof. And I watch Laporte and I'm watching Stones and I'm just thinking, these guys levels. And to be fair, Ake has also come in with a certain standard and you just go, well, these guys, the levels are just high. And this was what is so great that, you know, you have players that are subs, they're coming in and you just think they just keep the level there. And I just think it's amazing that we have the level of quality players we have.
Look at him lifting that trophy. I want to see Laporte lifting that again soon. No, I really do.
We will. But I think he's not just a fantastic defender. He's a wonderful footballer, you know, and how we like to play coming out from the back. I'm not saying that Ruben doesn't, or Nathan doesn't, or John doesn't, but a lot of our attacks start from him, breaking between the lines, little balls, in that area between the opposition's defence and midfield. And Sean said before, you know, he's got the big diagonals in the bag as well, and he chips in with a lot of important goals. But, you know, to have that stat is phenomenal, and he doesn't. He's not always been starting either. You know, you look last season, you know, he was out the team for an amount of time, but whenever he comes in, he's a top class defender.
I still can't do his celebration though. Can you, Sean?
I can't.
Have you tried?
I was like, what's he doing?
That means he has.
He's
got
to show me. You got to show me that one. I've got to get it done.
You've tried that, haven't you?
I have tried it. Hey, listen,
yeah.
he scored goals, right? And I'm just like at him. I'm doing this. What's
Well, we're going to talk a little bit later about a game you're playing in tomorrow, Sean. So maybe, you know, when you score, which you will, because you're Sean Gota, you could try and do the Laporte celebration.
I got to learn it first. 24 hours, I'll learn it.
We need to teach you. For Ake today, Paul, do you think one of the positives of having him in today is, I know it's often a stereotype when you talk about Burnley being quite a physical team, but he is quite a physical player, so will that play into his strengths today?
Yeah, I think it will. I think first and foremost, I agree with Sean there, that since he's come in, he's been outstanding. You know, he's not always starting the games, but he's been so reliable whenever he's been called upon. You know, he's got, talking about Laporte, Diaz, John Stones, possibly ahead of him a little bit. But whenever he's come in as that left-sided centre-half or as a left-back, he's been fantastic. And his physicality today, you know, they'll have Vikhorst up front, is 6'7", so we're going to have to get physical when Burnley want to come out. And he's got all the attributes that we've seen already to be that he is a top defender.
Now, of course, we know that we've got an incredible selection of players that play up front, Sean, so we're often asking who's going to be the three up front. Today, Mahrez is on the bench, but also Bernardo Silva sits out today as well. Do you think that is a tactical decision for today, or although Pep would never admit it, is there an eye on the game midweek and the one next weekend as well?
Yeah, I think Pep won't admit it, but I think there's an eye on the game next week. But again, when I look at our front line and I see Sterling, I see somebody that's dynamic in terms of when he goes out of play and how dynamic he could be. Foden, like a magician, pops up in little pockets, he does these twist turns, finds his yards, can give Lou through balls, good shot on him, affects the game with shots, assists. Grealish, dynamic in terms of when he drives, his driving ability to drive at teams and defenses. And I'm sitting there and I think, well, who will play up the middle? I think it may I'm thinking it may be Foden, but Pep always comes up with something that's, you know, a curveball.
He does, but we say it all the time, you know, either one of the three could play as the false number 9. Yeah. All three of them could play within the game, and, you know, I'm delighted Jack Grealish is starting again. I thought he was outstanding against Man United here at the Etihad before. I thought he was really, really good for England, and, you know, we're starting to see the form that we know we're all capable of. And I thought his answer, I don't know if you've seen his interview after the England game, when they keep asking him about his stats, and he said he's not bothered about the stats because he's doing what his manager wants him to do, and that's why he's in the team, and he's a top class player.
It does feel like we're starting to see Jack Grealish for Manchester City now, as opposed to the Jack Grealish that was at Aston Villa, which was, you know, you talk about the stats with him. Do you agree, Paul? We've got to not look at the stats. We've just got to look at his performances on the pitch and his contribution to the team.
I think we've just got to enjoy him. You know, he's a fantastic player to watch, and completely different style of play from what he was at Aston Villa. Aston Villa, he was the main man. They were giving the ball anywhere, and they looked to him to drive them up the pitch, because that Villa team he was in was a defensive team. Now he's playing in a team that's dominating the ball. His ball retention is fantastic, and that's what Pep wants. And we all know he's got that little bit of goal dust going forward to create something or score a goal himself. And, you know, I don't get people questioning him throughout the season, because whenever I've seen him play or whenever he's been in the team, he's done exactly what the managers wanted. He's a team player, and his quality will always shine through.
And just a quick word on Raheem Sterling as well, Sean. 8 goals in his last 11. Captain England in the week. His confidence has got to be sky high at the minute.
Yeah, certainly. It just shows the maturity of him in terms of he's now taking on that leadership role in captain in England, and how he's performing. He seems calm. He doesn't seem as though it sort of affects him. And he's always affecting games. You know, what I love about him is, you know, without the ball, he runs in behind and affects teams. And then when he's got the ball, that low sense of gravity where he can go left and right, and just asking questions of defenses. So I just expect that again of him today. They're going to have a low block, but it'll be challenging. But I imagine a couple of times he'll get through that block and look to assist and have some chances.
I think it'll be interesting. We're talking about who's going to play as the 9, but who's going to play in the wide areas? Because we know Jack likes to play in the left coming in, but Raheem likes to do that as well. So I do think they'll see rotation within it, but whether it's Raheem that plays as the false 9 sometimes, then you've got Phil coming in from the right and his left foot and Jack on the other side. So it's going to be interesting how they line up.
That's the thing, that City have this rotation, you know. In our time of playing, it was just like, we're up the middle, and I didn't want to go wide. There was a nosebleed if I went wide, but this is it's the understanding, it's the information that they understand what Pep's giving them, and they go and deliver it to a T in terms of the quality of it. And again, you know, Foden's up there, how he can come short, and then all of a sudden Grealish is filling in that space, as Paul said. The interchange, and it's just so seamless, and you just think, for some teams, if they don't get it right in terms of how they defend, they could be all over the place. Because 1 minute they're going, oh, I'm following Foden, he was a striker, and then there's this gap that they've left, and all of a sudden, you know, Grealish pops up in there, Sterling pops up in there, and it's just mayhem.
It is, and it must be a nightmare for the opposition team to go up against. I know a couple of the Burnley lads, and I've seen them this week, and they were saying that they've not actually worked on what Man City's team will be, because even when they get the team at 2 o'clock, they still won't know who's in what position, so they've just worked in their own shape because they can't work out what player's going to play where. You know, it could be KDB, he could be up there as the false 9, Phil could drop in. So as an opposition manager and an opposition team going into it, setting up, it must be so difficult. And as I said, Burnley this week, they've not even spoke about the personnel for Manchester City because they know it will change within the game.
I absolutely love that. I've always wondered how people deal with us, and they don't work it out. I absolutely love that. If you'd like to ask our guests any questions, you can do so by using the WhatsApp number that is on your screen now. As always, I'll get through as many as I can. You can ask them about today's game, future games, tactics, themselves, anything you want to know, get them in on WhatsApp. And also, this is your reminder, you need to download the Manchester City app if you haven't already. That is the only place to get your commentary, the best place to get your commentary for the game. Alistair Mann and Michael Brown will be taking you through the game today from 3 o'clock. Now it's time to play our favourite game. It's Who's Stat? Now, you know by now that you read I read the clues for you. There's 3 of them. We'll do them throughout the show. You got to work out who the current or former Manchester City player is. So here's Who's Stat clue 1 for today. So, clue 1. This player scored 32 goals in 36 games for his international team. Wow, that's a record. Gents, does anybody jump to mind straight away?
Take that as a no. Some record, 32 goals in 36 international games. Wow.
Not bad, not bad.
I wish you could have seen that the two of them looked at each other and went, like, no! So, the gents don't know yet, but if you do know, let us know. Hashtag Man City. Who is that? I'll give you another clue a little bit later on as well. So, we can give you now the Burnley team for today. We have the starting 11 for Burnley. So, it is in goal Pope, Roberts, Tarkowski is the captain, Long, Taylor, Lennon, Cork, Westwood, Brownhill, McNeil and Weghorst. On the bench, Hennessy, Norris, Lowton, Thomas, Dodgson, Stevens, Cornet on the bench, Barnes and Rodriguez. So that is Burnley's team for today. Paul, immediately jumping out at me there is Cornet on the bench. Obviously one of Burnley's better players who had a really great start to the season. On the bench today seems like a little plus for us. It
does. I know he has injuries, but I'm just wondering whether Sean Dyche is looking into it. The team he's got out there, look, it's going to be 4-5-1. You know, Sean Dyche historically likes to play a 4-4-2. So I think we're going to see what we all are going to expect as a defensive performance. But Corney's not the most defensive-minded either. You know, he's a fantastic player, scored some fantastic goals this season, but he doesn't really work back. And I think for Burnley today, for them to even have a sniff of getting anything out of the game, they're going to have to have 10 players out there that are going to work their absolute socks off. And it's not a criticism of Corney because he's a fantastic player, but he likes going forward, but not necessarily going back to defend the other way.
He started the season so well, Sean. It's brilliant stat. 6 6 goals from his first 14 shots in English top-flight football, but he's since rattled off as many shots without getting a goal. So he started well, but it's really sort of trickled off for him.
Yeah, that's the issue with Burnley, the consistency throughout the season, and why they found themselves there. But you know, with him scoring that number of goals in that number of shots, he's somebody that I'm sure they'll be looking to at some point to sort of perhaps get themselves into the game, or perhaps if it's later on and they're still in the game, can they bring somebody like him? I'm intrigued with someone like McNeil, because McNeil is a really good cross at the ball, and with Burnley, if they're going to get anything, you're thinking it's going to come from some sort of cross or set piece. But then I thought, will Sean Dyche do something which we wouldn't expect? Perhaps him playing off of Weghorst in terms of, because he's a good dribbler. I don't see that, but I think. What's your thoughts? You know a bit more of the team.
Yeah, no, McNeil, I think he's a fantastic player. No disrespect to Burnley, but I'm surprised they've kept hold for him for as long as they have done. But I just think today, you know, I think with Cork, Westwood and Brownhill, all three dogged central midfielders, that we will see McNeil and Aaron Lennon in the wide spaces, you know, and we all know without the ball they're going to get behind it and make it difficult. But with the ball, they have got quality, and especially in the wide areas with Lennon and McNeil, and you know, Weghorst up top, 6'7" is a threat in there as well. So you know what their game plan's going to be. Keep it tight for as long as they can, and when they can, use their width and get balls in the box.
That's the great thing. It's funny because we're here and we see City so much, and you know, we digest and know what's happening, a bit of what's happening. I'm now starting to think Sean Dyche doing things that Pep would do, that will throw the opposition. And you're right. It's probably very unlikely that a McNeil will play behind. He'd actually be wide because they're going to have so little of the ball. But that's the influence of being around and in Man City, and how Pep does. And we're like, what's he going to do this week? How's he going to play the team? Who will play? And these sort of things.
I think we will see McNeil coming off the line as well. You know, he does that naturally, as much as we all know he's got a wonderful left foot and gets balls in the box. But he wants to be involved. You know, he's got a little bit of quality in there, and you will see him coming in off the line, picking up little pockets to try and cause City problems.
I've got a wicked McNeil stat for you about crosses. You know, I was shocked when I read it. Second most crosses in the league this season after Trent. He's had 158 crosses. Now, I had a look at Cancelo's just to kind of put that into comparison for you. Cancelo's had 93 crosses this season in the league. He's had 158. However, he's only had 4 big chances created and only 1 assist, whereas Cancelo's had 5. So it's perhaps not always the number, Sean.
It's not the quantity, it's the quality. But you know, when I've seen McNeil play, he just gets a half a yard and puts it in. So some of those crosses are not necessarily perhaps even near the forwards. They may be 5, 10 yards too far in front, but he just moves it a half a yard and delivers it. And some of those, the forwards then are trying to make something of it, whereas Cancelo, well, it's just a different type of cross.
Without going on too much about Burnley, I think that's where the biggest problem is. You know, that stat, the amount of balls they're getting in the box, McNeil alone, but they're not getting people in the end of it. Goal scoring's been a huge problem for them. But you know, McNeil, he reminds me, I think you'll probably get this a little bit of Mark Kennedy, who when he played for us, that all he needed was half a yard, and he'd put the ball in the box. But as a forward, if me and Sean were playing together and Mark Kennedy had the ball, you knew the ball was going in the box. And it's the same with McNeil, but they're not getting enough bodies forward to get in the end of it.
So obviously they tried to rectify that by bringing in Weghorst in the winter transfer window. He came in, had a great start, got a goal, but then hasn't scored since. So he's had 9 games now, 1 goal, 6'7". With the amount of crosses you're putting in, I think everybody expected him to be getting more goals than he is.
Yeah, I think it's just how Burnley have been setting up. You know, they're in a relegation battle at the minute, and when you're in, you need to win games, but it's so important that you don't get beat. And I think that's the mantra that Sean Dyche has got this season. You know, but with somebody like Weghorst, McNeil one side, and say Aaron Lennon the other side, if they do get the opportunities to get in the box, it's so important that Weghorst gets in the end of it.
So obviously, big game for both us and for Burnley today. Liverpool have gone 2-0 up now in their game against Watford, so we don't need to talk about that. We know what that means. In terms of for Burnley, fighting for survival, Sean, they've got us today. And then they've got 2 really interesting fixtures. So they've got Everton at home on Wednesday, and then they're away at Norwich next weekend. So in terms of the games they need to be picking up points, they've got to be looking at Everton, that Norwich game, but they're not going to write off today in any way, I'm sure. No,
well, listen, Sean Dyche, having played with him, he'll be saying, listen, we can spoil the party. Why not? In terms of give everything. He'll rally them up, and I think also the fans will look to get behind to say, can they get a point? I don't think they're thinking, can they beat Man City? I think they'll only think that perhaps if they're in the 87th minute, 88th minute, and they're somehow 1-0 up or something like that, then they'll think we could potentially win this game. But I think if this game pans out for them, they'll be like, if we can get a draw, that'll be absolutely amazing. So, again, it'll be backs to the wall, and can they just hold on to a point?
And from Burnley's point of view, and I know this through speaking to some of the guys, that their season won't be defined when they play Man City or Liverpool. You know, you said about the 2 games they've got coming up. Their season has always been defined the teams that are in and around them, and that's what their mantra has always been. You know, beat the teams that are in and around you. It gives a chance of safety. If you can pick up something against Man City or Liverpool or Chelsea, it's a massive bonus for them. So, as much as in a relegation battle and they're down there at the minute, I don't think they'll look at today's game as a must-win or pressure on it. If anything, the pressure's off them because nobody's expecting anything.
There might be a case of history repeating itself today as well. It's very interesting. Obviously, mentioned there that Liverpool have gone 2-0 up. You might remember back in 2019, we were in a situation, a very, very tight game, tight league chase between us and Liverpool. And we had to go away to Burnley. We had to go to Burnley and we had to get something. Now, this is I absolutely love this clip. If you've not seen it before, it's brilliant. Here is Pep in the dressing room at Old Trafford talking about having to go to Burnley next.
We have one problem, guys. We have one problem. We make an incredible victory. Now the people is going to talk about how beautiful you are, how handsome you are, how special you are. But we have to go to Burnley. He's going to the dentist. You know he's going to go to the dentist to Burnley. You know that. So that's why come, guys. Tomorrow, good regeneration. Take care of yourself, guys, because it was in our hands before of that, and now it's still in our hands.
You have to go to Burnley. It's like the dentist. Would you agree, gents?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely, I would. Absolutely. That's fantastic, and I just love Bernardo, how he started sniggering when Pep said that there. But it just shows you how important and how highly Pep values Sean Dyche and Burnley. You know, he knows that it's going to be one hell of a tough game today. He knows it's going to be so difficult going there to get the win, and that just sums it up.
I love the analogy, going to the dentist. Who loves going to the dentist? No one. No one loves going to the dentist because they know, you know, if there's some sort of drilling or whatever it may be, there may be some sort of pain. And this is what Burnley are. Burnley let you know that you're in a game. They let you know you're in a game. The confidence that we can have is that the players know that, you know, on our day we get our things right. We're very capable of winning this game and capable of winning the game handsome as well.
I've got to admit, you know, sorry, go on,
It'd be
Paul.
interesting if it's a similar team talk today again about that, 'cause it's such a similar position as it was a couple of years ago, and to go there and get that win, I think it was Aguero's goal, wasn't it?
And do you remember
just over as well. I remember thinking there that's the sort of results that make you champions, you know. And I wouldn't expect anything different today.
I have to admit, you know, I'm that loser that doesn't mind going to the dentist. And when I watched it, I actually said to the guys, what does he mean? And they were like, because no one likes going to the dentist. I was like, oh, okay. Right, yeah, that's me. I don't mind going to the dentist. But then, you know, take care of them pearly whites. This is the goal that you're talking about there, Paul. So I'm really hoping that today we won't need to rely on a goal that's millimetres over the line. This was a really important goal by Sergio Aguero, and really does kind of highlight how these incredible title chases can really go down to a few inches.
It does, and it's so uncanny how similar it is going there today. You know, in that 2019 season, went on to win every game that just got us the win, and that was so important winning that game. As I said, it wouldn't surprise me if Pep goes back to that and reminds the players, you know, because the one thing we all know, we're fantastic on the ball, we all know we keep possession, but we're going to really have to dig in today and get the result.
Small margins, that's exactly what it shows you there, that is the difference between sort of, you know, being champions or just falling short. And I think that'll certainly be something that if he hasn't mentioned, he will mention, because you just have to. I think we have played him here as well, in terms of Stones making a save, marginally sort of, you know.
That was Liverpool here.
All those little margins sort of add up. So I'm sure that will be some of his words to them.
I'd rather not go through it again, but as long as it goes our way, then I will. Now, tomorrow, there is a wonderful, incredible event taking place at the CFA. It is Manchester Remembers. We are hosting it. It's a charity football match between some legends and some celebrities, and it is to commemorate the victims of the Manchester Arena attack, which was 5 years ago now. Former City players Peter Reid and Joe Royle will be in charge of the teams, and the celebrities will include comedian Jason Manford, and also Paddy McGuinness will be on the coaching team as well. Sam Allardyce is managing, and you're going to get ex-City players like Trevor Sinclair, and there'll also be Paul Merson, Clayton Blackmore, and a certain two gentlemen that are sitting here in the studio. All the money raised will be donated to 5 charities. They've been set up by the families of some of the victims of the bombing. It's just a really incredible causes, a wonderful, wonderful event. You can get tickets now on mancity.com. It's £10 for adults, it's £5 for kids. Can't encourage you enough to get down. I'm taking my son. I cannot wait. Now, also on the celebrity team, 2 very special people are taking part. Tom and Joe from the Blossoms. We love Blossoms. They played, you might not know, Blossoms started out on City Square here at the Etihad Stadium many, many years ago. So I always like to rub it into them and try and take some sort of credit for their incredible success. Well, they had the chance this week to train. They're playing in the celebrity team. They got to train with none other than our Shaun Gota, and he took them on in a game of dizzy penalties.
How many is that? 2. You're joking. Hold on.
2, one more. Right, I'm Joe, the GOAT, Tom. We're going to do some dizzy penalties for Manchester Remembers. GOAT, you're in net. Me and Tom taking them. What do you reckon, T?
Let's give it a go.
3 each. I reckon I'm going to throw up. Let's have it.
4 saves. 4 saves.
4 saves?
Let's bring it on.
If I throw up on this dead nice pitch, sorry, Pep. You ready, Tom? Right. That's 1. Yeah, this is hard itself, you know. Right. Oh.
Go on. Oh my! What a penalty! Okay.
I'm getting dizzy.
Now. Game over.
I'm getting dizzy for the game, you know. That was good, wasn't it? That?
Mate, that was great.
That's a good standard.
Right, am I going?
Yeah, go on. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh!
Saved it.
Just bring a little bit of pro stuff to this.
Is that 5? I don't know where I am.
1 more.
Where am I? Right. Straight down the middle, I had him! I had him! I had you there. 1, 2. Why do I help you when you don't help me? You know what? 2 more.
2 more?
Yeah. No, it's 1 more now, mate.
That's enough.
Oh, he's put it away.
Oh, dizzy now.
Hat-trick against the GOAT, imagine. Oh, I went for it! I can't believe I did that.
3. Oh,
It was the side you just did. Come on.
that was a ping, that.
That was a ping, that.
That's a proper pen, by the way.
Not bad, that was it.
I know,
Very, very surreal. I used to come to Main Road with my mum and watch.
Oh,
So
actually.
yeah, massive fan.
So what do you think about my goalkeeping then?
Shocking.
Come on.
I'm glad you said it. Thank you. You realise that. I'm still disappointed that I let myself down with the old pen saving there. But some great strikes, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Technique.
What do you reckon? We still got a chance?
I think so.
That's good.
Top corner.
Top mate.
Done me with a bit of swans on one. Some good pen.
I'll take that every day of the week.
I love that. Just hopefully Shaun's not in goal tomorrow for the legends. So that is Manchester Remembers, taking place tomorrow at the Academy Stadium. You can still get tickets for it if you can get there. I cannot encourage you enough to get down and support everyone. Get a chance to see Shaun Goater scoring again. I cannot wait. My son is not going to know what's hitting when I start screaming like a child. Now, our Stephen McInerney is out in Hamburg. Gotta say, a huge congratulations to him. He announced yesterday that his wife is expecting a new junior blue, so big congratulations to Stephen. He's out there and he is with a gentleman called Leonard, who is going to be setting up a Hamburg official supporters club. So big shout out to him. This is him and Stephen talking about today's team news.
Hey Nat, it's Stephen here. We're out in Hamburg with Nexon Tyre. I'm here with one of the biggest Manchester City fans in Germany. Leonard, how you doing, man?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm very good. A bit cold, but I'm all good. It's like being home again in Manchester.
Typical, yeah. I was going to say, you're used to that.
I absolutely am, but I didn't bring enough football clothes with me. But of course, you've been a City fan for nearly 20 years now as well. So it's exciting, man. How did you get into City?
Oh, that was back in the days playing FIFA as a young man.
Yes.
And preparing the underdog, obviously.
Of course.
Playing with Manchester City.
Yeah.
A club that is very close to my local club here as well.
Yeah, of course. Hamburg, the City Connections, visit company, the young, some absolute legends, of course, of Blue.
Yeah.
But today's a big game, mate. It's a big game. Manchester City versus Burnley. How are you feeling?
Pressure's on. I'm very excited. A bit nervous, but I'm confident.
And that team as well. That team, man. It's a good team. And of course, a German captain today, which is a nice coincidence.
Actually very nice to see him playing today.
He's a wonderful player as well.
Yes.
And he could be useful because we need a goal, against Germany. And he's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Prediction?
2-1.
2-1. Nah, I'm going to go for 2-0. Come on, City.
Let's go.
Thanks to Stephen and thanks to Leonard out there in Hamburg. Stephen travelling the world representing City fans, meeting Blues all over the world. I absolutely love it. And something else I love, by now, is giving quizzes to our guests. And this day we have a wonderful special quiz for you both. Are you excited? Do you know anything about it yet?
Can't contain myself. I'm that excited.
I know you love our quizzes, Paul. Right, today is a 2018 quiz. How's your memories?
I can't remember what I've done this morning. Never mind 2018.
Me 5 minutes ago.
Are you playing as a team? Are you teaming up today?
Yes, we're teaming up. There we go.
They are teaming up today.
Together.
So what I'm going to do is take you through 2018. There's a question for each month of the year about something that happened to City in that month. Good luck, gents. Come on, you got this. So in January 2018, City signed which defender who became key to future title successes?
Laporte.
Are you happy with that, Shaun?
Oh, I'm happy.
He's happy. Is it Laporte? It is Laporte.
So I said we're a team. I'm not stupid.
You'll contribute, Shaun. Right, February, gents. Pep Guardiola won his first silverware as City boss this month with the League Cup. But which side ended our hopes for a quad? Ooh. Who beat us in the FA Cup? Who was it?
Arsenal.
No, gents, it's that team we do not talk about. Wigan! Right, March. City had the highest possession ever recorded against Everton in a 3-1 away win. But was it 72, 82 or 92% possession?
It's got to be 82. Can't be 92. That's ridiculous.
We're going to go 82. I am thinking 82,
but
we're going to go 82.
It is 82. So you've got 2 so far, gents. You're moving into April.
Should have been 92 that game. Gotta look at the data.
Be 92 tomorrow for you, won't it, Shaun? Right, which United player scored a double to ruin City's plans to seal the Premier League in the derby?
Pogba.
Is it Pogba? Yeah. It is Paul Pogba. Right, you're moving into May. Who scored a 94th minute winner at Southampton to ensure City finished the Premier League with 100 points?
Jesus.
Yes, it was. It was. There he is, Gabriel Jesus. Right, June. Football almost came home for England in the World Cup. I'm sure you were very upset about that, Paul. But how many City players were in the England squad?
I had no interest in that tournament whatsoever. Walker, Stones, Sterling.
What are you whispering for?
Who's the other one? I'm thinking for.
Walker, Stones, Sterling.
Grealish.
2018.
Oh, 2018. Sorry.
It's been 2018 since the start, mate.
Yes. This is, yeah. we jumped a year. Yeah. Just a 3 then.
3.
Should have gone with Sean Goethe. It wasn't Grealish, but it was 4. It was Fabian Delph as well. Oh. So nope, Jensen, you're on 4 now. You got 4 right so far. Right,
and
July.
2 we got wrong. Sorry, mate.
Which you said 4. That was Paul Dickoff.
Yeah.
Which midfielder swapped Manchester for Greece, having made over 300 appearances for City in July 2018? Who moved to Greece?
You know. I know you know.
He left City to go to Greece in 2018.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Who are you thinking? Come on, gents, you give me an answer.
Huh?
We're going to reveal it. We're going to reveal...
Nasri?
No, it wasn't. It was Yaya.
I was like, I was thinking Yaya.
You got to back yourself, Sean.
I wasn't sure.
He's great at answering the questions after he knows the answers.
No, but I wasn't sure. So.
Right, we're into August. Who scored a hat-trick in City's 6-1 win over Huddersfield Town in the first home game of the season? August 2018. Who scored a hat-trick? Who loves scoring hat-tricks, guys?
It had to be
Sergio.
Oh, yes, it's Sergio.
Yeah.
September. Which midfielder scored his first senior goal for City in a 3-0 League Cup win over Oxford?
Phil Foden.
It was Phil Foden 4 years ago. His first senior goal. Love it. October. Which City player... Oh, no, I don't want to read this out. Which City player missed a late penalty in a 0-0 draw at Liverpool in the Premier League?
That's a terrible question.
Horrible question.
Riyad.
But since then, he's become a penalty-taking machine, and if he gets another one next week, he's going to slam it in. Right, November. Sergio Aguero scored his 178th goal against which Italian side to become City's all-time leading goal scorer?
Yeah, Napoli.
Napoli's the one. Oh, they're making a comeback. Last question. It's December. It's Christmas time. I love this one. Who scored a wonder goal as Palace shocked City 3-2?
I was here. Andros Townsend.
It was Andros Townsend. So that was our 2018 quiz. Fair to say, I think Paul Dickoff got most of them there, Sean.
I thought it was called the DICKOV quiz show. Because I was no help there.
You could do Mastermind, Paul Dickoff. Manchester City in 2018.
I'll be all right at that, actually, yeah.
Thank you. We always very much appreciate you taking part in our quizzes.
Yes,
right,
we do, Paul. Thanks for taking part.
Teamwork.
As a team. Thank you, gents. Thank you very much. Right. During the international break, City's captain Fernandinho visited Brazil with the Premier League trophy, and he took part in a series of events with our fans and communities. 1 in 3 people globally do not have access to clean drinking water. So this initiative is so important.
Hoje, no Dia Mundial da Água, tivemos uma parceria com o Manchester junto com a Zion, onde tivemos mais de 100 crianças para participar desse evento.
E eu me sinto muito privilegiado de poder estar fazendo parte desse projeto hoje, de poder ver, né, o brilho nos olhos das crianças, perguntando muitas coisas, pedindo por conselhos. Então é muito legal, é muito interessante você estar fazendo parte disso.
Nesse dia, passamos atividade para alguns educandos falando sobre a importância da água, tudo isso através do futebol. A importância de reutilizar a água, a importância da reciclagem e de como cuidar do meio ambiente e quanto a água é importante para a gente e para a comunidade.
Eram 3 atividades, né? Então, uma ali que você ficava tocando a bola dentro de um círculo das crianças, quando tocava 10 vezes a bola, corria para pegar a bola aqui no gol e colocar dentro do bambolê ali. A equipe que conseguisse colocar mais bolas dentro do bambolê era a vencedora. Mas nesse meio termo, depois dos 10 passes, elas corriam no Young Leader, né, que são os instrutores, e tinham que responder uma pergunta relacionada à água. A interação com o conhecimento, com o aprendizado é fundamental, principalmente nessa idade.
E foi muito importante para nós da Zailen participarmos desse grupo, né, dessa ação de hoje aqui. A Zailen, em conjunto com o Gol de Letra, com o Manchester, né, participamos por meio de um grupo onde nós ajudamos, né, na construção da cisterna, né, de um totem e da horta vertical.
E o troféu foi algo surpreendente, porque é uma representatividade, né? Tipo, ele sair lá da Inglaterra para vir aqui para Vila Albertina, para poder falar com as crianças, conhecer o nosso trabalho. Isso foi uma grande oportunidade.
Acho que foi uma experiência maravilhosa. Ele é uma pessoa muito gentil e, para mim, assim, foi uma coisa que eu nunca imaginei passar na minha vida. Então, conhecer ele hoje foi muito bom. E ainda pegar o autógrafo dele na minha camisa foi melhor ainda.
Era uma pessoa super tranquila, super de boa. Foi muito incrível conseguir essa conversa com ele.
Estou muito grato por o representante poder trazer o troféu da Premier League no Brasil e passar esse tempo aqui junto com a nossa nação. E, obviamente, o trabalho que tem sido feito na Fundação assim tem sido feito um trabalho fantástico, fenomenal. E eu fico muito feliz em saber que o City está apoiando o projeto assim. É muito gratificante de estar envolvido em projetos como esse.
Some incredibly inspiring work happening out in Sao Paulo. If you'd like more information, get yourself onto mancity.com/community. Quick score updates for you. The under-18s have won today 1-0. And earlier on, the women's team won 2-0. So it's looking like a great day. We just need the men's team to top it off for us now. Now, we're going to have a look at clue 2 in Who's Stat. So look at the clues and work out who the current or former Manchester City player is. So the first clue that you had a little bit earlier on, this player scored 32 goals in 36 games for his international team. The new clue for you, in his career, this player has scored more goals against Burnley than any other club. That is 8 goals in 5 appearances. Paul, you thinking you've got an idea now?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Sean, have you got an idea?
I think I have a little idea, but
go on.
Yeah, I have a little idea.
Don't say it, don't say it. We don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. I know who it is.
Should hope you do.
Paul, I feel like you're doubting that Sean knows who it is.
I am. I won't say anything though.
Yeah.
Hashtag Man City if you'd like to tell us who you think it is. I'll have another clue for you at half time and then we give you the reveal at full time. Got to say, gents, I knew it on the first clue today. Genuinely knew it on the first clue. So come on, you got this.
I had half an idea on the first
Come
clue.
on. Okay.
But there was
I
something.
hope I'm got it.
There was
anyway.
something that guided me. There was something and somebody that guided me away from it.
I love these two together. They're absolutely brilliant. Now, we'd like to urge you all to vote. Vote in the Premier League's Hall of Fame shortlist. You've got until tomorrow. So this is something that you should do pretty quickly. Get yourselves onto the Premier League website and vote for the City players that are nominated. Vincent Kompany, Sergio Aguero and Yaya Toure. They are part of a 25-man shortlist. 6 of those 25 will be selected and they will enter the Premier League Hall of Fame. Get yourself on and get voting. Let's get them all in. Wouldn't it be absolutely brilliant? Because all 3 of them, let's face it, all 3 of them absolutely deserve to be in it. Now, we have a live poll currently on Twitter. So you can go to Man City on Twitter. Now, the live poll, we've asked you if only one of them could get in. I personally think all 3 of them should and will get in if we all get on and vote. Currently, Sergio Aguero is leading your vote on Twitter with a mammoth 72% of the votes. Yaya Toure has 15 and Vincent Kompany has 13% of the votes currently. Paul, they just should all get in though, shouldn't they?
All 3. That only leaves 3 for, was it 6?
6?
6, yeah. So give them 3-1 each and then let the rest battle it out. But now look, it's so difficult. Vincent, wow, what a captain, leader. what a man. Just phenomenal defender. Yeah. Couple of seasons, 3 seasons he was here, was unplayable. The best midfielder, not just in the Premier League, but in the world. And then, for me, I've got to go with Sergio. You know, breaking all sorts of records, hat-tricks, highest overseas goal scorer in the Premier League, and scored the most iconic goal that we'll ever see in the Premier League. So I've got to go Sergio Aguero.
I love getting to talk about all of them because all of them have scored iconic goals, which means that we get a chance to rewatch some of the iconic goals. So I'm going to take you to Vincent Kompany first. Yeah. Which iconic goal do you think comes to mind first, Sean?
Against Leicester.
Leicester?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolute screamer.
Right. Let's have a look, Sean. At this moment, were you shouting? What were you shouting? Don't shoot!
Don't shoot, Vinny! Don't shoot! And I mean, he connects with that. Absolutely beautiful. And it sort of goes towards the keeper, but then it sort of just veers away and says, "No, that's not for you. That's meant for the top corner." it's. I mean, you can't hit it.
To score a goal like that in that moment as well, and what we didn't know that was the last goal he would score for Manchester City before he retired as well, you know, and you put all that together and, you know, you just get goosebumps watching it, don't you?
I've literally just got goosebumps up and down my arm because I remember exactly where I was standing. I remember who I celebrated with. I remember the emotion. I remember pretty much everybody going when he struck it. And it is just one of those. It feels like it's one in a lifetime strike from him there, Sean.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And we've seen so many games where he's been such a leader, legend. But that particular game was so important, as Paul said. You know, such a vital game in which we needed to get that win. And we're just thinking, no, find a pass. And when he hits it, I mean, everyone in the stadium just goes absolutely, you know, crazy. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Goosebumps. Obviously, Sergio Aguero scored a number of iconic goals. It's only an hour-long show. We don't have time to show every one of Sergio Aguero's iconic goals. Yeah. So let's see which one we're going to have a look at of the endless lists of Sergio Aguero goals. So this one is against Manchester United. Everybody, just enjoy. Just enjoy. Sammy Nasri there with a bit of footwork. My goodness, Paul, how did I forget about that finish?
Nah, that's up there with one of my favourite goals from him. I mean, I would have dislocated my hip if I'd tried to do that. It's on his bad foot, you know, the overlap, ball from collar off, and then you look at improvisation and what to do, and he's meant that as well. You know, it's not as if it's a lucky finish or he stuck his leg out. He just knows exactly what he's doing. You know, I would have torn my groin, dislocated my hip, and twisted my knee trying to do that in one moment. But what a finish! And the big players producing big games, don't they?
Well, you can see the joy in his face and his celebration. You know, because he's a goal scorer that scores all types of goals: beautiful goals, ugly goals, goals from a distance, goals where he's just reacted and made something out of nothing. But you can see his celebration, what it meant to him. But Paul's absolutely right. His ability to just again get his foot on it and contact and deflect that ball towards the goal. Wonderful. For me, he scored so many goals, and I couldn't score goals like outside the box. I'm seeing him get the ball. I think it may have been Leicester again, where he's talking about his goals, but he got the ball out his feet. I think Casper may have been in goal, and I think Casper put his hands up as it went through his hands because it was just hit so hard. Kasper Schmeichel could not save it. It was just, I think when he put his hands up, the ball had already gone across him. But he's, again, sort of beautiful, wonderful strikes outside the box, inside the box, you know. The Liverpool acute angle.
Oh, I just love watching them. Now, Yaya Toure, again, a plethora of incredible goals that we could choose to look at. This one, again, I know exactly where I was in the stadium, who I was standing next to, and I remember this moment like it was yesterday. Yaya Toure versus Newcastle in that first time we won the league. We needed to win this.
That's, yet again, big players producing in huge moments in big games. And that's just, you know, he's just caressed it into the corner. He's passed it. You know, that's not even a shot. He's just passed it into the corner. He knows exactly what he's doing before he gets the ball. And he just makes it look so easy. And that's such a difficult technique to do, coach, isn't it?
Well, it is, because I couldn't do that. Again, left foot, right foot. This is what, you know, when you think of Yaya, along with his driving runs in midfield, passing balls in the corner. You know, and you just think, how does he do this? Like from a distance, 5 yards outside the box. Again, that's just a loose set, 1-2, and he's just passing it in the corner. Makes it look effortless.
He knows what he's going to do before he even plays the 1-2. He's got that picture in his head already, and that's what all the top players do. But at that point, I mean, that was such an important goal, but at that point, he was by far, for me, the best midfielder in the world. He was unplayable.
We were absolutely blessed to watch the three of those play in a City shirt. And so get yourselves onto the Premier League's website today, and voting ends tomorrow. Vote for, I don't know how many votes you get. If you can vote for them all, do it. And hopefully they will all claim their deserved places in the Premier League Hall of Fame. So we are less than 10 minutes away now from kick-off. Liverpool have won their game. We know what that means. We have to win today to reclaim our position at top of the league. Paul, do you feel any more nervous now after that Liverpool result?
No, not at all, because it's still in our hands, you know. And I didn't, even before Liverpool played today, it was baffling me and getting me quite angry actually, how people were saying that Liverpool were favourites. Now,
were they really?
Yeah, I was listening to some radio station now and I had to turn it off because I was going to end up crashing the car. I was getting that angry. It was as if Liverpool had won the league already and nobody had even kicked a ball. You know, Liverpool are a top team, but I just think we're better than them. And going into the game today, does it put the pressure on us even more? It doesn't, because we knew yesterday, we knew this morning before Liverpool played, that we would have to win this game today. And the lads have been in this situation before. They know how to handle the pressure, whether they're at the top getting chased or whether they're behind, because they've won the league doing it both ways. And that experience will see us through.
And that, again, people, is why you need to download the Manchester City app and get your commentary with Alistair Mann and Michael Brown, so that you don't get infuriated and nearly crash your car. Yes, Paul, thank you. Sean. Yes, Sean. Today's game is going to be tough. Yeah. How are you feeling? Can you give us a prediction ahead of kick-off?
Yeah, I feel relatively calm. I feel excited about it. I feel that these are big players that show up for big games. As Paul said, we knew we had to win this game no matter what the result was going to be. So for me, I had three results thinking about, you know, this coming in. I thought, I know it's going to be tight. My mind was thinking 1-0, then I was thinking 2-0 or 2-1. But I'm actually going to go for 2-1. I think it's going to be a tight one, but I'm going to go 2-1 to us.
Can shout out to the incredible hardcore away fans that we have. We're seeing shots inside Turf Moor now. It's Burnley, of course, they're eating pies. Is that? I wonder if that's a stereotype. Yeah. Paul, give us your kind of final pre-match predictions and thoughts.
I just think that the players will be in that changing room now and knowing that they want to go out there and send a statement to everybody else again. I'm actually even more confident than what I normally am. I think it's going to be a statement sending out result to everybody else, and I'm going to go 4-0.
Paul DICKOV,
yeah, baby, you heard it here first.
Oh, I hope so. Do you know what? I really don't want today one of those nervous games that gets to 60 minutes, it's still 0-0. My ticker can't take it, Sean. We need a 4-0. It will send a statement, won't it?
Oh, definitely would. I mean, you know, the thing is, if we get into our groove the way we can, it can easily be 4-0. It really can. For me, the reason I make the prediction I'm making is because Burnley is just always a tough team. I just feel that Burnley, listen, they're playing against City. They'll be like, listen, if we can get a draw, the other teams be looking at Burnley and thinking, well, Burnley's on some sort of run because they got a great result against City. This is what's making me think it's going to be tough, and that City, that we're gonna win it 2-1.
I think Pep's confident as well, seeing him there. Normally it'd be in the changing room giving a team talk. I don't think he needs a team talk today. The players know what they need to produce and go out there and do it, and I think that's why he's sitting in the dugout already. He's left it to the players to sort out because he trusts them.
Oh, I like that. So you think no dentist chair talks today?
No, I think leading into the game yesterday, possibly, but I think there's only so much a manager can say in games like this, and he knows the players know how important it is. He knows that he can trust the players to go out there and win, and so does Mike Summerby. Love him.
Mike Summerby and Alex Williams look very calm there, Sean. I think they think we're going to win 4-0.
Yeah, I think, listen, some of you would have had discussions or little chats with Pep, how you feeling, and I think he would have had those little chats. He would have got that feeling that the team are really ready for this one. They're up for it.
The red wine can't be that nice in Burnley because Mike's never out that early. He's usually finishing off his glass before he goes out.
Or maybe he's just feeling nice and calm as well today.
Absolutely. Look, the man's a legend. I love him. And he'll be expecting us to win, like we'll do.
Oh, I love you both. You always make me feel better. So we can see the teams they're getting lined up in the tunnel there. Kick-off now is around about 6 minutes away. Get the app downloaded. You want your commentary there with Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. We'll be back at half-time. We'll give you another stat on Who's Stat. Hopefully we'll be talking about a lot of City goals. And we'll be joined again by Stephen, who is out in Hamburg. We'll be getting their thoughts as well. So, Blues, take a deep breath. Enjoy it. We'll be back at half-time. See you then.
Well, welcome to Turf Moor. The Blues are at the start of a mouth-watering month in which they will continue their pursuit of 3 major honours. With 9 games to go, City have the defence of their Premier League crown within their own hands, but they come into this afternoon's game